Perfect, yeah.
Will, what's the best play you've seen Jeremiah Smith make in practice?
Ooh, he made one yesterday that was pretty crazy. Went up, climbed the ladder, and caught one with one hand. But, man, I don't know if I can single one out. He's made some unbelievable plays in practice over his career. A couple in the spring that made a lot of us just kind of jaws drop a little bit and kind of realize like, oh shoot, this dude's the real deal. So yeah, there's been quite a few.
What's it like when he makes those one-handed catches? What's it like when he makes those one-handed catches in the game?
It's crazy, man. I mean, he's one of the most talented dudes I've ever been around, to be honest, and it really doesn't surprise me anymore just because he does it so often in practice.
Will, ever since you walked off the field in Texas, you guys have said the job's not finished. What does it take on Monday night? How do you team finish that?
Everything. This team is a hard-fighting, hard-working team. So it's going to take everything, and we can't leave any stone unturned. We gotta put our everything into this fight because we know it's going to be a bout, man. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a war, and it's not going to be given to us. We're going to have to go earn it out there. Yeah, it's my hand's good. It was just a weird bruise thing on my hand, but it actually didn't hurt like at all. It just looked terrible. I didn't even realize until I think after the TV realized that my hand was pretty blown up. But man, in this new day and age of the playoffs, I kind of knew coming into this season that no matter what I did, I was probably going to play a longer season. And if we were going to consider the season a success, then we'd be playing 16, 17 games. So, we kind of came into this thing expecting it and knowing that we were going to be in for a long ride. But it is still kind of weird doing it for the first time. The last couple years I've only played 12 or 13 games every year. And this year this is I think game 16. So yeah, it's a longer season. You got to make sure you're staying on top of your recovery and whatnot. But man, I've just had so much fun. It's felt faster honestly than any other season. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Riley's an unbelievable dude, man, and somebody I have a lot of respect for. Just the way that he goes about his business, the way the way that he has his faith in the Lord. Everything that he kind of embodies. I feel like we get along really well. He's a great dude, man, and it is kind of crazy to think about it. We've originally met 2 years ago at that camp, and when we were both at Duke and K-State respectively, and it's kind of crazy now looking back at it. When we first met, now to where we are now, it's cool. It's cool to think about.
Will, Ryan has said he wants to win it for you guys. I've heard players say they'd love to win this and give Ryan Day that championship. What is the emotional motivation to lead this team to this game?
It's a true family, man. Like we want to do this for each other. Like everyone in the building, in the Woody. It's we kind of had a moment the other day at the end of practice and kind of just thought about, man, like all the work that we've put in to get to this point and all the stories that have been written but need to be told. And we talked about that last week. The way that your story gets told is you win. So we want to win so that all of our stories can be told. Individually, Coach Day, all of us players, and then as a unit, man, because we're in this thing together at the end of the day.
Well, you talked about the story there, the Michigan game. Really part of the story this year. Would you guys be playing for the same client right now had that Michigan game not gone that way?
You could say one way or the other. I'm not really sure, but we're worried about the national championship right now. Oh yeah, man. I stay close in touch with my guys over at K-State. All my coaches have been great, man. Like Coach Kleiman's reached out, especially during this playoff run, and Coach Riley and even Coach Klein down at A&M. All the coaches, and then definitely my guys, man. The players that are still there. Like my brother is actually a freshman there. He plays there. You got the K-State hat right there. And then I got still some of my best friends, in the world that went there. Some of them still play for the Cats, but a lot of them are moved on now. But man, those guys and the relationships I made there, that I'll never take that for granted. And they're all still my brothers for life. And I love Kansas State, but man, it's just God's blessed me with the opportunity to go to two really, really amazing universities, and I'm just really lucky.
I want to ask about the offensive line. You've had a lot of guys come and go, but they still protect you pretty well. We've got 1 or 2 sacks in the last 5 games. What do you see with those guys, and how have they grown?
Yeah, they've done an unbelievable job, man. I'm so proud of the way that they've attacked these playoffs. I feel like they were kind of being challenged, when we came into the playoffs a little bit, and people had a lot of question marks about them, but I think they answered in a big way. And I'm just so proud of those guys and the resilience and the way that they overcame, a lot of those struggles that they had, all the, shifting around that they've had to do. I mean, Donovan Jackson's playing maybe some of the best football of his career, and he's playing left tackle. He never played tackle before. I mean, it's unbelievable. These guys have just stepped up and done what the team has asked them, man, no matter what. Maybe they want to do. I'm sure Donovan, coming into this year probably wouldn't have expected to be playing, tackle, and probably wouldn't have preferred to play tackle, but he's doing it because that's what we need for us to win this game, and for us to win all these games. So they're just unselfish, or, an unselfish group of guys, a group of guys that I love and care about so much. And, they keep me safe, man. So I got to give all the thanks and the credit in the world to those guys. Cool. Yeah, I think that's a really good point, man. I talked about a lot when I was at K-State, the fact that experience is invaluable. And when you go out there and when you do things, it may not be perfect, but, the reps and being out there and just getting that experience is invaluable. And, I feel like there's few ways to really practice being out there other than actually doing it, and I've played a lot of football in my career, and I think it's taught me a lot, and there's been situations even this year where I've learned from, and you're never done learning. And the more that you can go out there and feel different situations, understand how to deal with it, not just in the moment, but mentally, emotionally after it. I've dealt with pretty much almost every scenario that a quarterback could probably deal with in terms of, playing, starting, backing up. Like, I've done pretty much all of it, but I think, I just trust that God has a plan, and, just continue to work hard and believe in myself. And, here we are, man. So God is good, and, just keep your head down and keep working, man. Yeah, obviously, after the first two, rounds of the playoffs, we knew that he was probably going to draw some attention that last game, and they did pretty much everything they could, in the Cotton Bowl to eliminate him and not let him beat us or beat them. And I thought other guys stepped up really well, but there are ways to get him the ball that You just got to scheme it up and figure out different ways to attack it. But obviously, it's a different style of defense that we're playing. So there's maybe some different wrinkles that we can throw in there, and it's all part of the game plan, man. We just got to look at it, feel what's the best way to get the ball into his hands and in all of our playmakers' hands, because the thing that can work out to your ability there too sometimes is that he can take 2 or 3 guys out of there, and that's a good thing sometimes. Sometimes you want to get him the ball, so there's a lot of different ways you can work with it, but I definitely would expect him to attract some attention. I think he's just a really down to earth guy, a really truly faith driven, good values, good family. You can just tell. You talk to him, and he just feels like pretty similar to me. And I just really respect the guy that he is and the person that he is. First and foremost, and then seeing the way that he plays, I feel like our games are a little similar in a way. He's a really good leader. He plays with some passion, some energy, and I love that, man. I think I think we're pretty similar guys. And I'm just really it's crazy that we're here. Couple months later, and we're here in the national championship. It's kind of wild, but just gotta thank God and be thankful, man, and do everything we can to win this game. Yeah, the transition was definitely interesting, and coming from a place where you're there for 4 years and you're very comfortable and everyone, coming into a new system where you have to kind of I didn't know anyone's name. I'm just learning everybody's name when I first got here. So first and foremost, I wanted to get to know. I don't know how he went about his transfer. I didn't talk to him a ton about it. We obviously had a couple minutes together, at the Manning camp, but we haven't talked a ton. But if at least for me, in the way that I went about my transfer is, I wanted to get to know everyone first, and come in and not be trying to lead everyone and bark orders right from the get-go, man. Just coming in there and saying like, hey, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a Buckeye. Like, I want to understand what it's about. I didn't want to come on too strong, and just I tried to really just show them and earn their respect, and show them that I wanted to be here and I wanted to be a part of this thing, and going from there, man. Like we just had so many good guys that took me in and appreciated me, and I feel like I gained their respect, and really in the summer I think I was able to kind of step into more of a leadership role and just get more comfortable out there. Yeah. First of all, Notre Dame's defense. I mean, I think that the hardest thing about them is that they play really, really hard, and they're just they don't take plays off. Sometimes you can watch on film and look around and see, man, like, oh, these guys take a play off here or there, but these guys play hard and they're tough. And I mean, they're gonna do everything they can to disrupt me. The passer. They're gonna move up front. Those guys are active. I think their linebackers are really instinctive players. Their DBs are good cover guys, man. They're smart. That safety, number 0 and number 8, I think they're both really, really good players. I think they got a lot of talent and a lot of heart, and I got a lot of respect for that, man. So we know it's going to be a fight. But then the second part, the mystique of Ohio State, I guess, me coming from a different program, like, the brand of Ohio State is just so big, and so, kind of just it is what it is, man. It's like it speaks for itself, it's the Ohio State. So coming to a place like this, man, you kind of understand what that is, and I try to just kind of buy into it as much as I could, man, because I'm only here for 1 year, and I love it. I love it here. I love being a Buckeye, and trying to just make the most of the year that I have here. Yeah, that's a good question, man. I would say probably my sophomore year of high school was when I started to realize, like, hey, man, this football thing I think is what I'm probably going to end up doing, and I think I might have a real shot to do this thing. I started getting some offers. It wasn't anything too high. I was kind of just thinking, man, maybe I can work my way into somehow playing at the Division I level someday. But I always believed in myself. I never really expected to, I never expected my career to go the way that it would. I obviously wanted to make it to this point at some point, but if you were to ask a 19-year-old or an 18-year-old Will Howard if he'd be at Ohio State playing in the national championship, I think he'd probably say you're crazy, man. But it's just you got to continue to believe in yourself no matter what, and adapt and change. That was one of the biggest stories of my career was just dealing with the change and dealing with adversity, and then dealing with success and being able to balance that and just continue to work hard and keep that chip on your shoulder through all that. I would say probably not that much, honestly. When I came into the transfer portal, it was really between, at the end of the day, it was really between going to Ohio State and then, there were a couple other schools on the docket, but it was really the NFL was what my other option was. I had a Senior Bowl invite. Everything was teed up for me to kind of go into the draft process. Obviously the NIL money, it was nice to get it as kind of more of like a almost insurance, like kind of thing. But that really didn't. If I would have been in it for the money, I probably would have been somewhere else, to be honest with you. But I came to Coach Day and I said, man, I want to go somewhere I can develop myself into a better player and win a national championship. And that was really what the ultimate motivation was for me. So yeah, the NIL is nice, and I wasn't there when I was coming into this thing. It's a nice add-on, but it wasn't why I came here. Trey? Ooh, man. That's a really good question. He's I think one of the most underappreciated guys, in college football, man. That dude's just an explosive guy when he gets the ball in his hands. But I think one of the most special things that he does is without the ball in his hands is pass pro. I mean, that guy is unbelievable in pass pro. And as a quarterback, it's cool because he takes so much pride in it. And he's like, man, they're not touching my quarterback, man. And I just like, man, I love that. A dude that, especially a running back, that's unselfish enough to be, that caring about not letting dudes hit his quarterback, man. Like that's special. And he and Q do an unbelievable job in pass pro, man. But I mean, what they do with the ball in their hands speaks for itself. But that's one piece of his game on the field, I would say, that is special and probably overlooked. Yeah, I obviously I wasn't here for that, but I know that a lot of people around the building still ache at that one. So definitely it will be if we were able to get this one done in this building, it'd be a little poetic. That would definitely be a great feeling for a lot of people in this building. But man, that Ohio against the world mantra, that's kind of what we kind of what we try to embody, and we talk about Ohio against the world, the Woody against the world, really just us believing in ourselves. That's really what it is. It's not us against, obviously we say it's us against the world, but it's more us bringing each other together and saying, man, like, we're going to hunker down and kind of say, this is all we got, this is all we need, man. And it's more of that, I'm going to go out there and fight my butt off because I love the guy next to me, not because I hate the guy across from me, but it's because of that love for the guy next to me. And that's really what I think we're trying to portray with that, Yeah, that's definitely, the human element starts to kick in at this point where, you get a little tired and it's late in the year, but you got to shake that off, man, because it's the national championship. And at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters. None of that, human stuff matters because, we got, 60 minutes really for the rest of our lives, man. And this is it. This is all we've, been working for. And it's been, this playoffs has been, it's been long, it's been a grind, and it's been, kind of a crazy ride because, when we started off in this thing, a lot of people were writing us off, not really giving us a chance at home against Tennessee, and then all of a sudden going into the quarterfinals, we're like the favorite, and, it's just crazy, man. You gotta, I think the thing we've done a really good job of is not changing who we are because of what people are saying about us, and trying to just believe in ourselves, stay true to what we are and who we are, blocking everything out, and just continuing to work and have that same chip on our shoulder every week.
Will, you and Chip Kelly both came to Columbus this year. What's your relationship like with Coach Kelly? How's that marriage going? What's it mean to be a Buckeye to you? How have you spent your time here?
Yeah, man. Coach Kelly's been awesome, and I think just the more that we've been together over this year, we've gotten closer and closer. And man, I give him a hard time. He gives me a hard time, man. We have fun in that room, and I think we just have a really, really great quarterback room. Really great guys, Riley and Billy in there helping out too. Like, we just have a lot of fun in that room, and you can tell that Coach Kelly truly wants to be here, man. Like, he just enjoys being around us and having some one-on-one time with players. He hasn't gotten that in a while, and that's what he told us, when he got here. And it's been awesome, man. And overall, being a Buckeye, looking back to a year ago, this is coming to Ohio was really the best decision I've ever made in my life. I've gotten closer to the Lord. I've met some of my closest friends here. I met my girlfriend here. There's been a million different things I can speak to. And obviously, we're sitting here in the national championship. I'm just blessed, man. I really am, and I'm just so thankful that that God led me here to be a Buckeye, and I'm just blessed.
You guys are on your fourth or fifth iteration of the offensive line. What have been the biggest strides this current iteration of the line has gotten, and brag on your line?
Yeah, man. I love to brag on my line. I'll talk about them all day, man. Those guys are they're road graders, man, and they've looked adversity in the face all year. And I think Josh Fryer, the other day said, screw you, we're gonna go do it, man. And I love that. I love that mentality. We need that edge. And when those guys have that edge, and when they play with that edge, man, they're tough to beat. And they know they have a challenge ahead of them in Notre Dame, but I feel like they've gone against three really, really talented fronts in the last 3 weeks, and we know that it's just getting harder every single week. So, I think, that Cross is a hell of a player inside. They got some really good DNs. These guys are a really, really good front. But man, I got all the faith in the world in my guys, and I know that they're going to step up to the challenge and do their job. They keep me safe, man, and I'm just so proud of them and the way that they've handled everything this year. Who's that? I'm sorry. Luke Montgomery, man, he's done a heck of a job, and a guy that didn't play much football all year, and then all of a sudden in the playoffs is kind of asked to step up, man. And we talk about all the time competitive excellence and being ready when your number's called. And I think Luke stepped up big in a really, really big way in that Tennessee game. And he's brought more of a mentality to that O-line, man. Like he's banging his head in that game, and he's fired up, and those guys are all fired up, man. Like that was awesome, and I think he brought a little juice, especially in that first game, and kind of showed people like, hey, man, I'm here, and he made a statement with that game, and he's been playing some really, really good football. So definitely, we all need our best game on Monday night, though. Yeah, after the up north game, we had a team meeting, and I know we talked about that a little bit. But yeah, we got together and we really hashed some things out, and it was really a truth telling time, and the facts were laid out there. People were challenged. Everyone, including myself, had to kind of look in the mirror a little bit and say, what can I do better? How can we fix this thing? And the thing that we clung to was that we still have this opportunity out in front of us to really right all these wrongs and go play for a national championship. And here we are, man. And we're right where we wanted to be. A lot of people wrote us off, but we really just believed in ourselves, and we tried to come together, rely on each other, and come together for this purpose of winning a national championship. And when we clung to that and we looked at that, we said, man, like, I think we really got something here. Yeah, that was a big thing when I was at K-State for sure. I wasn't actually able to get it started here this year. We just didn't have the time, but hopefully maybe next year we can start a registry drive. But something I felt really passionate about when I was at K-State. I met Coach Andy Talley from Villanova when I was in high school, actually, and he started the get in the game, be the match program for college football programs. And I ended up talking with him at the Maxwell Awards a couple years ago, and we ended up getting the program started at K-State. Myself and Coach Van Malone, and who's our defensive backs coach and assistant head coach, and they just do unbelievable work over there. Like my mom, when she was before she had me, she worked as a pediatric PT OT at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and she worked with a ton of kids that had leukemia, lymphoma, and she kind of shared some of that with me, and it was something I felt really passionate about and wanted to help out with all I could. And I'm still trying to do some work with them and stay locked in with those guys, man, because they do some unbelievable work, and all those kids out there that all those people out there that it's not just kids, it's people all ages that have these blood cancers and diseases, man, that need donors and need bone marrow transplants and stem cell transplants. So the more I can shed light on that, the better. And if you can go out there and get your mouth swabbed for the Be the Match, I mean, all you have to do is swab your mouth. It takes about 10 seconds. You mail your swab in, and they see if you're a match for somebody on the registry. So it takes like no time, but you can save somebody's life. So that's what I loved about it, and I just want to, as much as I can, bring as much attention to that.